Hi guys, welcome to another video. Kane or Haaland? That's a big question for quarterfinals. They're both doing so well, and they are not owned that much as Messi and Mbappe. So I am definitely gonna go for either Kane or Haaland, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, so let's look into some projections that we already have for the quarterfinals after the two after four matches are finished. So first one we have France versus Morocco. France had a very weird game against Paraguay. They did what they could do. Played in some very strange way. That it was a really strange match because of the Paraguay because of the referee. That was really bad. One of the worst refereeing I saw, and I watched World Cups for like 20 plus years. It was really abysmal. Like after Korea and Japan, 2002, I think I never saw worse refereeing in the match. But France still managed to do what they needed to do. Still managed to score a goal, and Mbappe almost scored the second one as well. He's just so good. He's just in chances all the times. Like whatever is the match, however match is going, Mbappe is having some chances. On the other hand, like we saw with Olise and Dembele, if you man mark them, if you really go tough on them, hard on them, foul them, uh, they can still go without any attacking returns. I think Olise and Mbappe both had like from 1 to 3 points top. But against Morocco, it's going to be a different game for sure. Morocco has their own weapons, and look, I watched now a couple of games for France and Morocco, and I still think that France's form is kind of going high from the beginning. It's fluctuating a little bit, but it's still going strong. We see they don't have quality backs for full attacking play. So Dean, Kunde, they are not so good in the offensive phase of the game. Also in the midfield, Rabiot or Chouameni or Manu Kone, whoever plays so far, they are not good in the offensive part. But that's why they have Olise and Dembele, Mbappe, etc., and Due in this match, for example. But I think still they progress against Morocco. And the projected goals and clean sheets are saying that France is projected to score basically 2 goals and, almost 50-50 chance of getting a clean sheet. Morocco, I don't know. I think, on the other hand, Morocco started really strongly against Brazil. Fantastic match, but I think their form is slowly kind of dropping down. They lost Saibari in the meantime. Hakimi's gassed, like in the match against Canada, like from 60th minute, he could barely run, I think, anymore. We didn't see any of those forwards runs that we used to from him. I don't know. He was looking really gassed. Saibari's out. Onahi is a very interesting pick because I think he's gonna be now like the Saibari instead of Saibari, which happened in this match, and he scored 2 goals. But Canadian defense is not French defense. On the other hand, they didn't concede, but they should have conceded, and Canadian attack is definitely not French attack. So I think France definitely scores. I think they score at least 2 goals. On the other hand, Morocco, I'm not sure. I think this is the end of the road for them. Now we can get up to 5 players from the same team. I think I'm not gonna go that way and take more players from France. I'm not sure. I already have 3 French players. Maybe I would go for 4, but every good option is very expensive. So I will think about it. And for Morocco, I have Hakimi, and I will definitely not buy anyone else. Maybe Onahi, maybe Onahi. I think he's going to be there instead of Saibari. Maybe he can score a goal or get some other attacking return. But I favor France in this match for sure. And then Norway, England. God, this is going to be a firecrack of a match. Norway and England, like Vikings, they need to go through England to go to the eternity, to go to the semifinals, which will be fantastic results for ages. That's what Vikings did. Like what is now more than 1,000 years ago. Went to England, and then it was for the ages. But let's look at the numbers. In numbers, England is a favorite. More chances for a goal, almost 2 goals projected, and the 1/3 of a chance for a clean sheet. But I think there is no clean sheet in this match. Holland is just too good. They have other options in the attack. I mean, they substituted Nusa and Sorlot at halftime, and they went with like Bob and I think it was Aursnes, or I'm not sure, but I mean, still they managed to score 2 goals. I think even were even better in the second half when they made those substitutions. I mean, everyone's saying that Norway is not that deep, but I think they are deep enough. I mean, they have some players, in the defense and the midfield, also on the bench. Solid players, not world class, but solid players. And I'm not sure. I think about I value Norway since the beginning, like for the last couple of years. But I was always expecting them to reach a certain point and then kind of reach their ceiling and then kind of drop to solid but still mediocre team, right? But when they were defeating Italy, it was like, oh, it's Italy. They didn't go to 3 straight World Cups. And then in group stages, it was like, oh yeah, they defeated Senegal, but maybe they were lucky. And then they defeated Ivory Coast as well, but still those are African teams. They're very good, but they're not so composed. But now they defeated Brazil in the knockout stages of the World Cup, and they're just rising and rising and rising. It's not just that they defeated them, but they had a lot of chances. They played really well. They kept possession. They didn't concede basically a goal. They conceded it like 97th minute from really stupid penalty. So they almost went with a clean sheet against Brazil, although Brazil had some chances. I still think they don't keep a clean sheet against England, but some options from Norway are very interesting. So it's gonna fall down to Haaland versus Kane. They are similar in prices, and it's just if you think it's basically that Norway will progress, take Haaland. If you think England will progress, take Kane for sure. Uh, I don't know. It's really a coin toss. I think England is more accustomed to this stage of a competition. They are more experienced for sure, and they are used to suffering. Now, I mentioned you, I think, a couple of videos ago that also at the last Euro and the last World Cup before that, they were just progressing, playing hard after extra times, after penalties and stuff like that. But they were still progressing. Also, last night it seemed like they just suffered and suffered and suffered, but still they managed. They found a way. Tuchel is a great coach in this regard. So I think if I needed to choose, I think England progresses. I think Bellingham has a good game again. Um, so yeah, okay. This is just 2 matches. We still have to go through Spain, Portugal. I hope Spain progresses because of my players and because of the next round where we can go all in on Spain. Can have 5 Spanish players. I think I would go for like 4 or 5 against USA or Belgium. And USA or Belgium is going to be really interesting after that farce with Balogun red card revoked or suspended or whatever. It's a really, really bad decision for the World Cup, in my opinion. And it made me root for Belgium even more. I hope Belgium progresses. I have the players from both US and Belgium, but I will go for Spain against them for sure. Even maybe for Portugal. I mean, if Portugal defeats Croatia and then Spain, that would mean they found something. They found some form. They found some way to progress, and I would definitely favor them against USA or Belgium. And then Argentina, Egypt, Argentina. I think Europe is going to play Colombia, but it's going to be a really, really hard match. I wouldn't bet on Argentina so much for sure. Okay, so this is some of the odds for the semis. So France is that high at 71. Then England is now very high. We have Argentina and Spain, and then Norway. Morocco, Colombia. So you can, use these odds kind of to plan out. But now we are towards the end of this planning phase because after the next round, after quarters, we get to semis, we get 5 transfers, and then for the final round of finals and the third round's playoff match, It's just the same teams. So whatever players you have, they're gonna be there till the end when we reach the semifinal phase. So yeah, what I mentioned before, 5 transfers now, and we can have 5 players. You can theoretically have 5 players from France, 5 players from Spain. Just go all in on those two teams, for example. And I did a little bit of a research of the top teams. Like I did on a random, some of the, around 20 teams from the top 100 teams currently in the entire like global league. And I found that they share around like 40% of the players. 40% of the players are the same, basically, around all those teams. So basically, like in all 20 squads, there was Mbappe. So Mbappe was in every team, So if you have Mbappe, if he scores really, really well, you're not gaining ground. You're not gaining ground, but you're not losing your ground as well. So what I said a couple of rounds before, Messi and Mbappe are a must because of this kind of thing. Messi is there in 18 out of 20 squads, and then in 13 squads out of 20, we had those two guys plus Vini, Saibari, Bellingham, Quinones. Then in 10, more than 50% of squads, we also had both Martinez's, two Martinez's actually from Argentina, defender, Lisandro, and uh, goalkeeper, and also Olise, who scored really low in this round. But that's generally it. Like, there's just a lot of players now repeating. I mean, Saibari is injured now. Quinones didn't progress, so this is gonna change. But people are probably now gonna go for also players, which I told you before. Towards the end, basically everyone is gonna have pretty much the same team. So if you want to keep your position, go for those guys. If you want to raise your position, go for some differentials. So, for example, differentials in this round were Haaland in this regard, Yamal, Ronaldo, for example, Cancelo, those kind of players, big names but small ownerships. So try to find, if you are gaining ground, even if you're not gaining ground, try to find those players for the next round, but also take some of those players that everyone has. You need to have them. If they score really well, everyone else will, gain ground on you, gain points on you. So basically, there are some larger lists. You can see some of those names. As I mentioned, Messi and Mbappe are basically in every team. I mentioned the second template core list already. Some of the popular picks in more than 25% of the teams were Vargas, Freeman, Laporte, Upamecano. Then we are great now in the ground of differentials with Yamal. Very, very interesting. He has such a high ceiling. Pickford, Mignon, Haaland, etc. And then it's just like less than 5% for like Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, he's still great player, but yeah, he has Spain. But I mean, there was upon a time when he could score like a hat trick against Spain. How he can score at least a goal, why not? Then Cancelo, Cunha, Olmo, and many more players. So try to go kind of with this and take some of those players that everyone has, but then try to find some differentials. Because, for example, in this round, Haaland was a differential for sure. Yamal is. We'll see how he's gonna. How is that gonna play out? But he's in just around 20% of those top teams. It's probably like that overall in the league. And some of the goalies, like Mignon, kept a clean sheet. And then, like these super differentials, Cristiano is very expensive, I think 8.8 or 8.9. But still, he's still Ronaldo. He's still on penalties for Portugal. He can still do something. Cancelo in Portuguese defense. Olmo is a very, very interesting pick. I mean, he's scoring, assisting. He's playing up front in that Spanish midfield. Yeah, I think the best midfield in the tournament. So there's a lot of picks. We'll see if who progresses out of those two teams. But those are very interesting picks for the next round. Okay, so until the next video, I think I'm gonna do the video with my team on the day of the deadline on 9th of July. Until then, bye guys.